다시 한 번 더 안내
Let me
말씀드리겠습니다.
give you another
잠시
couple
후
of
9시
housekeeping notes. From
30분부터
9:30, we are going to start the 2024 HANSIK Conference.
내부에 준비된
I would like
자리에
to ask
모두
all the
착석해 주시기
participants
바랍니다.
to be seated inside.
그리고 컨퍼런스는 한국어와
And this
영어로
conference will be
진행됩니다.
proceeded both in
필요하시다면
English
자리에
and
준비된
Korean.
플러피를
So
사용해
please
주시면
use the
됩니다.
receiver on your seat if needed.
다시 한번 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 곧 2024
So 2024 HANSIK Conference will be started shortly. I would like to ask everyone to be seated.
오늘 컨퍼런스는 한국어와 영어로
So the
진행됩니다.
conference will be proceeded
필요하시다면
both in
자리에
English
준비된
and
플러피를
Korean. So
사용해
please
주시기
use the
바랍니다.
receiver on your seat if needed.
다시 한번 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 곧 2024
2024 HANSIK Conference will be started
모두
shortly.
준비한 자리에 착석해
So I would
주시기
like to
바랍니다.
ask everyone to be seated.
그리고 오늘 컨퍼런스는 한국어와
And the
영어로
conference will be
진행됩니다.
held in English and
필요하시다면
Korean.
자리에 준비된
So please
플러피를
use the
사용해 주시기
receiver
바랍니다.
if needed.
잠시만요. 사회자님 오시면요. 예, 이제 시작하시죠.
컨퍼런스 개회에 앞서 내빈께서
So, our distinguished guests are entering right now. Please welcome them with a warm round of applause.
(2024) 한식 컨퍼런스 이제 시작하도록
So now we are going to
하겠습니다.
start the 2024 HANSIK Conference. Nice to meet you, everyone. I am Sammin Lee from Summary Taste. I'll be the host of today's conference.
2024 한식 컨퍼런스
The 2024 HANSIK Conference is held under the topic of the future of Hansik. So in every part of the world, Hansik is attracting a lot of attention. So this attention and rising interest need to be continued. So that is the reason why a lot of experts in this industry are working very hard. So all of the participants today can be referred to many successful cases around the world, and you can think about the future of Korean gastronomy moving forward. And recently, the culinary world has attracted a lot of attention and popularity around the world. As a result, not only Korean food and Hansik, but also some different types of entertainment contents arising from food industry of Korea have become a great wave and fad.
한식을 널리 알리기 위해서
So in order to promote Hansik and also in order to build some synergy effects arising from Hansik business, we are here to think about a better direction and gather some insights and comments together.
시작하기에 앞서
So before starting today's event, I would like to introduce all the participants one by one.
김종구
So we have the Assistant Ministry, Kim Jong-gu, from the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs.
그리고 한식진흥원 전
With us is also Acting Chairman and Secretary General Jeon Hae-ung of the Korean Food Promotion Institute.
네, 이 밖에도
Also with us are renowned chefs from home and abroad, and also foodies, industry leaders, producers, and journalists from home and abroad. Thank you very much for your presence and blessing us with this event, with your presence. I ask for your kind understanding that over the last 2 days, the experts and panelists came together to have an opportunity to participate in the Hansik workshops to enjoy Korean Jang. So with this, I would like to show you the opening video. Please enjoy.
네, 한국의 집에서 우리 장 문화의 가장 기본을
So this was an opportunity to look into the Jang culture, and starting from the story of soybeans, water, and salt, there is also Jang that goes well with vegetables and also seafood. So we had 3 한식 workshops and Jang workshops in total over the last 2 days. After experiencing Jang, now we will have an opportunity to further discuss and widen the scope and width of Korean food. So before we have the presentations, we will take a group photo. So I would like to ask all VIPs from home and abroad and also members of the media and everyone who participated in the 2-day workshops, please come onto the stage for the group photo. Now we will have opening remarks from Kim Jong-gu, Assistant Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
예, 반갑습니다.
Good morning, everyone.
방금 소개받은
Nice to meet you. This is Kim Jong-gu, Assistant Minister of Agriculture, Innovation and Policy from Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, or MAFRA. First of all, I would like to extend my deepest thanks and welcome to all the participants to this 2024 HANSIK Conference out of your very busy schedule. My special thanks go to
미국 아토믹
Mr. Park Jong-hyun, owner-chef of Atomics from the United States, and Professor Yang Jong-jib from CIA Culinary Institute of America, and many international star chefs and gastronomers and media around the world. Today's event, held for the second time following last year, is prepared under the theme of Adventurous Table, HANSIK, to wish for the inscription of Korean Jang culture as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage this coming December, and to share the diverse food culture of Korea and the charm of HANSIK with all of you today. Over the past decade, through efforts from both the public and private sectors and the growing influence of the Korean wave, HANSIK has now strongly established itself as a representative cultural content of our country. The number one factor affecting people's decision to visit Korea is its gourmet exploration. When people think of Korea, they mostly think of HANSIK after K-pop. With the recent popularity of Netflix, Korea is expected to be spotlighted as a new culinary travel destination, and I expect that today's conference can serve as a strong engine to continuously lead these results. Today, we are going to have presentations and discussions on 3 different topics. The first one is Korean Jang culture. Second is Korea food future talent development. And third is HANSIK global business. We anticipate insightful opinions and in-depth discussions from experts who can highlight and elevate the excellence and beauty of HANSIK. Additionally, we hope this occasion serve as an opportunity for young chefs, the future leaders of K-food, and also motivate the further development and growth of Korean food and to foster dreams and hopes for the global stage. I would like to give my deep thanks again to all the participants, and I hope all of you have a meaningful time together. And I would like to extend my sincere wishes and happiness to all of you. Thank you.
이어서 한식
And
진흥원
next, we are
정혜웅
going to have the welcoming remarks from Mr. Jang Hae-ung, Secretary General of the Korea Food Promotion Institute. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
여러분 반갑습니다.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. This is Jang Hae-ung, Secretary General of the Korea Food Promotion Institute. I would like to extend my warm welcome to the 2024 HANSIK Conference. First of all, I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to Mr. Kim Jong-gu, Assistant Minister of MAFRA, for hosting this event. And also for this conference, we are delighted to welcome world-class chefs from Mexico, Belgium, the United States, Taiwan, and many other places. And including the leading world chefs and gastronomers, I would like to extend my deepest thanks and welcome to all the participants today. Our Korean food is currently performing well around the world, and also its international status and popularity is growing day by day. In response, the MAFRA and the KFPI have organized this event with the aim of showcasing the diversity of Korean food ingredients and the unique appeal of HANSIK in line with global trends, and to explore the future direction of HANSIK in the global market. The conference, themed The Future of HANSIK, will focus on Korea's unique Jang culture and will provide different educational and business strategies for the sustainable growth of HANSIK. In addition, global chefs from the United States, Europe, and many other countries around the world will discuss the potential and growth strategies of HANSIK business through their success stories. We hope that you will feel the depth and diverse flavors of HANSIK at today's conference, and that it will help to spread the value of HANSIK on the global stage. Moving forward, the Korean Food Promotion Institute will continue to provide an exchange venue for domestic and international gastronomy experts and stakeholders to participate and play a leading role in elevating the status and presence of HANSIK as a global culinary trend. In conclusion, I would like to extend my deepest thanks and respect to everyone who are doing their best to promote HANSIK culture in their own respective places. Thank you.
네. 한국 음식을 먹고 자라온 많은 사람들은
So, as a Korean who has eaten Korean food from a long time ago, when we think of Jang, or when you think of doenjang, you will think of doenjang soup. And if you think of gochujang, you will think of pajeon. And also other food will be paired together. But all around the world, there are opportunities to find a different kind of jangs around the world in different supermarkets. So Jang is becoming more popular and become of the everyday cuisine of not non-Koreans as well. So as chefs who are in creative who are creating food, Jang is also injected as part of the new dishes. So this specialness is becoming part of our everyday culinary culture. So Korean Jang is becoming the ingredients of chef to become more special. So this specialness over the last 10 years have been also showcased as mingles, while considering how to inject Jang into different kind of dishes and cuisine, which will be presented by Kang Min-gu, owner chef of Mingles.
안녕하세요. 레스토랑
Good afternoon. I am Min-gu Kang, the owner chef of Mingles.
우선 오늘 한국의 장을 주제로
So I will be talking about Korean Jang and also Mingles' journey to explore Jang.
지난 이틀 동안
So over the last 2 days,
장에 대한 공부하셨고
Korean Jang has been studied by you extensively, I believe. So since you have all the necessary knowledge, I believe my presentation would be all the more understandable to you as well.
이렇게 장을 발표를 할 수
So it is a great opportunity and privilege to make a presentation on Jang at this 2024 HANSIK Conference.
버터 없이 프랑스
So we all know that it will be very difficult to discuss French cuisine without butter and salt and Italian cuisine without olive oil. Because these ingredients reflect the food culture of countries, I believe in Korea, Jang is deeply rooted in 한식.
사진은 제가
So this is a picture
차린 한국의 생일
of a typical Korean birthday meal that I put together myself. And everything on the menu except for cake
케이크와 그 김치를
and
제외하고는
kimchi
그리고 쌀밥만 제외하고는
and also rice,
장이 들어갑니다.
everything has Jang in it.
그리고 지난 10년 동안 밍글스는 오픈
And
때부터
over the last 10 years, since day one, Mingles have been thinking as to how Jang could be infused into Korean food. So these are not Korean food dishes, however, it has been creatively created using Jang.
모두 아시겠지만
So as you all know, there are 3 types of main Jang: 간장, gochujang, and doenjang. So when you think of Jang, you would be reminded of gochujang, chili paste first. However, in the case of gochujang, it was introduced in the Joseon dynasty in the 16th and 17th century when chilies were introduced. However, 간장 and doenjang have more than 1,000 years of experience in making in Korea. So I would like to focus my presentation more on 간장 and doenjang. So if you have ever tasted Jang, you will be fascinated by its complex and appealing flavor. And it is made from very humble 3 ingredients: soybean, salt, and water. So we have quality soybeans, and Korea's west coast is producing high quality salt, which led to the development of Jang as part of the food culture. Now, let's see how Jang is made. So we need to make sure that we have good newly harvested soybeans, and then they are boiled, and then they are put into a stone mortar and pestle to make meju, which is called a soybean square block or brick. And when people talk about 간장 and doenjang, people think of Japanese shoyu and miso, but the biggest difference is whether there is the meju making process, which is the soybean dried brick. So this well-made meju is then dried on straw and then hung to be fermented and dried over time. Then the meju, the following year, between February and April, is created into Jang. The meju is soaked in 18 to 20% brine and then slowly fermented for 40 to 60 days. Then the separation process happens. So meju is in the brine but is taken out, and the solids become doenjang, soybean paste, and the water the remaining water becomes soybean. So in most cases, 간장 is fermented for approximately 10 years and 7 years for 된장, and it could be consumed after 2 to 3 years since initial fermentation. So this is a similar process as oak aging for wine or whiskey. So as simple as the ingredients are, the know-how of the maker, aftercare, and the environment in which it is fermented and stored are important factors in determining the quality of Jang. So as have been briefly mentioned, Korean 된장 and 간장 could be compared with Japanese shoyu and miso. If we look at the ingredients, there are differences. Korean Jang uses only one type of soybean. However, in the case of shoyu and miso, it uses different kind of grains, including barley, rice, and wheat. So it has more sweetness compared to Korean Jang.
미생물의 차이가 있습니다.
And there are also microbiological differences. In Japan, it is traditional to have only one strain, which is called koji, which is Aspergillus oryzae, whereas Korean Jang uses meju in the process, and various microorganisms from the surrounding environment become part of the meju. So in addition to Bacillus subtilis, Korean Jang is made from various bacteria, and the process allows for a rich and varied flavor with good control of various bacteria. So this is a well-made meju. You can see that it has white, yellow, and other colored fungi in it. And many microorganisms and yeast are alive in meju, which are the hidden helpers and the key to the flavor of Jang. As you would have noticed, making Jang depends on who makes it and also the environment it is made in. So there are many Jang masters in Korea, and like wine, the terroir is important. So all of the masters make sure that they have their specific environment and temperature control as well. At Mingles, we also make Jang ourselves. However, as a matter of fact, we also carefully handpick Jang that is made by Jang masters to pair and use in our food. So I would like to give you a comparison of 간장, 된장, and gochujang. So it is part of our everyday cuisine. It's a no-brainer for Koreans. 간장 tastes like 간장 and gochujang tastes spicy. It's very explanatory, but I would like to give you a more detailed Jang tasting profile, which has been provided by Sempyo Korean Taste Research Team. Thank you very much for that. So if you taste 간장, it has a subtle sweetness, also 감칠맛, umami, slight acidity, and also roasted aroma. And in the case of 된장, it also is nutty, and also it has 감칠맛, umami. And it also has a strong fermented smell. And in the case of gochujang, it has subtle sweetness. And if you smell it, it's also floral. And each Jang, when it comes to ingredients and when it's cooked, it is able to elevate the original taste of ingredients, but also adds different character. So sweetness, 감칠맛, umami, and nutty all comes together to be exploded and amplified while cooking. And when you do food with Jang, the negative taste or smells of the ingredients would be able to be masked. When you cook, bitterness or freshness might get in the way. However, 간장, 된장, and gochujang are able to mask these negative tastes and flavors. And when you use Jang in your cuisine, even though it's vegetable, you can have a very creamy cheese taste, and also once caramelized, it could be smoky and very milky. So even though you have a vegetable dish with Jang, it would offer a variety of flavors. That's why 간장 is so often used in stir-fry meals. And we eat raw vegetables, some wrapped vegetables with 된장 and 쌈장. And in the case of root vegetables, 터덕, which is easily pasted in gochujang, it all makes sense.
어떤 식재료와 잘
And
어울리고
Jang goes
어떤
well
조리법을
with different kind of
매치하면 잘
ingredients and
맞는지를
different kind of
연구하는 겁니다.
recipes, as you can
보시는
see on the
것처럼
slide.
한국 요리에서는
In
간장이
Korean
가장
food,
활용도가 높은데요.
간장 is the most
다양한
versatile
재료들, 그리고
among
다양한
all
조리법들이
ingredients
잘
and
맞을 수
recipes.
있고, 보시는 녹색처럼
And as you can see from the
간장은
green,
채소 요리에 굉장히 활용이
간장
많이
goes
됩니다.
very well with
또한 된장
vegetables.
같은 경우는
And in the case of
의외로
된장,
계란이나
it might be
유제품류와 굉장히 잘
counterintuitive, but it
어울리는데요.
goes well with eggs and dairy
또한
products.
고추장은
And
고기나
gochujang goes
해산물
well with
요리에도
meat
잘
and
어울립니다.
seafood.
우리가 전통 한식만 생각하지 않고
So we're not only
서양식,
thinking about
외국의 음식까지
Korean
생각하기 때문에
traditional
장을
food,
이렇게 다양하게
but
활용할 수 있는 것을 이
it
프로그램에서
has
알 수
many
있습니다.
different kind of applications to Western food, as well as you can see
그리고
from the
장을 어떻게
slide.
활용하는지
Then
잉글스에서
now I would like
장을
to introduce
어떤 식으로
how
조리하는지
we at
설명을
Mingles
드릴 수
are
있습니다.
infusing Jang into our menus.
보시는 것은
This is one of our
지난 10년
signature
동안 한
dishes,
번도 메뉴에서 빠지지
which
않았던
has been part of the menu from day one over the last decade. So Mingles is in a different location, but the first location had a very small kitchen. We did not have a dessert chef and a dessert kitchen separately. So we all came together to use Jang in our dessert menus. So this is candied pecans glazed with 간장. So we used caramelized nuts and we added 간장 to add some savory taste. And creme brulee is very popular in French, which has been infused with 된장 at Mingles. And this is a crisp gochujang, puffed rice boiled in gochujang water, dried and deep fried. And also you can see gochujang powder. So these are the basic ingredients for Jang trio menus. And then we also see 된장 creme brulee topped with 간장 pecan and vanilla ice cream finished with whiskey foam. And on top, gochujang puffed rice sprinklings and gochujang powder has been added to create this beautiful dish. It's sweet and savory. It has 감칠맛, umami, as part of Mingle's signature dish. So if you ever visit us, I guarantee that you will like it. So Jang and dairy products go well with each other. Jang is based on proteins or soybean proteins, and when it comes together with dairy products, the saltiness of the Jang would go very well with dairy products to become creamy and blended and elevate the taste of the ingredients. And this is another dish of Mingles. So we have blue cheese and tofu chips to create a sandwich. And then we have 간장 glazed dried fish roe. So 간장, when comes together with dairy products, tastes very good. So at home or when you do cook at the restaurants, you can use 간장, but there's also something called 맛간장, which is flavor added 간장. So we at Mingles also use different variety of 간장. So there's a basic Jang, and then we add water, sugar, and vinegar to create the base 간장, which we call it Jang variation. So we have the basis, and it's very simple. It uses very simple proportions, 6, 4, 3, and 4 to 1 to 1. So it's very easy to make. And then on top of that, we add different kind of ingredients to verify or to diversify Mingle's Jang variation. So we have dark makkanjang and light makkanjang, and dark makkanjang goes well with corn and Jerusalem artichoke to create a beautiful vegetable dish. And in the case of gochujang, we add pickled green plums to add more taste. So it follows a very simple logic. However, this is very intuitive for us to apply in our dishes. So since we came up with this slide, it is very versatilely used in all of our menus.
대한 고민도 항상 되는데요.
So you might think the proportion would be very important. When we make 된장찌개 or when we use jang
보통은 찌개 끓일 때
for
저희가
soup or 찌개,
떠서 거기에 풀어서
we scoop the 된장 in and then make sure that it dissolves in water.
한식을 모르고
So if you are a non-Korean who is not so familiar with 한식, we came up with some proportions that you could apply
음식, 한국 재료 그리고
to make
이곳에서 사용하는
한식
음식들을
at home and also at restaurants.
그렇게 만들어진 것이
So this is a combination of all of our research,
이 표이고요.
as you can see from this
보시는
table.
것처럼 샐러드나 기본
So for
채소들
salad
위에,
and vegetables,
간장은 1%,
간장 1%, 된장 2%, and gochujang 3% is the best to elevate the original taste of the ingredients, and it will be seasoned, and you could also enjoy the original taste or the unique taste of jang. And all of the jangs that we use are commercially available in the market. So in most cases, the saltiness for 간장 is 11% and then 9% and 5% respectively. So this is the saltiness level that we based this proportion on, and this should be adjusted accordingly. So in the case of cold soup and puree, these are thin. So at home, Koreans like to eat soybean grounded noodles. So the kongguksu base would only be made with soybeans, water, and salt. So 2% of 간장 and 5% of 된장 was paired best. So these proportions are not only used at mingles, but it could be applied to different kind of 한식 dishes and cuisine. And it could also be applied to different kind of 찌개 and soups as well. So you can see different kind of applications, and also with meat, in the case of red meat, beef, 간장, 된장, 고추장, 4, 8, 12% respectively taste the best. So water and basic ingredients were used, but if you are to use a broth, or if your jang is saltier than the commercially available one, you need to make sure to adjust the proportion accordingly. So in Korea, we do not only use 된장, 간장, or gochujang. We could use different kind of sauces that are blended with these three types of jang. Then you can reduce the percentage of 간장, and then if you would like to use it with 된장 together, you can adjust the proportion accordingly. So our research in Jang and our sleepless nights in Jang has been put into this book, The Soul of Korean Cooking. So this is the first English language book that I've published. So it talks about different kind of Korean traditional menus and recipes and how jang was used and could be used. So jang is not only used for Korean food, 한식, but it could be also applied to international tables as well. So what you're seeing on the screen is a typical Korean barley bibimbap. So in my recipe book, it is adding 된장-based dressing for bori bibimbap. And the bori bibimbap could be used in a different kind of variation, which is a menu that we serve at mingles. So this is a bibimbap, but it's a dessert. So I would like to show you how this was prepared via video. So in most cases, after the main course, rice or noodles are served. However, after meat, carbohydrates might not be the best choice. So that's why we created bibimbap into a dessert. So milk and cream is glazed with barley, and then the 된장 is seasoned within the cream together. to create a 된장 barley pudding.
쌀을 이용해서 만든
So it's
디저트들이 많이
made
있는데
with rice.
디저트라고 보시면 됩니다. 준비한 보리 푸딩은 접시에
So the
담아두고요.
barley pudding is presented on the bowl.
마른 쌀을 토스팅해서
So
만든
dry
소르베를
rice is also panned
쌀로 소르베를 만들면
to create a sorbet.
쌀 자체 갖고 있는 전분이
And the starch of rice would be enough. So without dairy, it will be very creamy and soft, and it will not solidify over time. So even without dairy, you can enjoy a beautiful and tasty rice dessert.
비빔밥을 모티브로 했기 때문에
So this has been motivated by barley bibimbap.
생채소나
So it also goes well with raw vegetables or blanched vegetables.
디저트 중 하나인 쌀
So
강정을
this goes also well with rice, puffed rice.
이렇게 튀밥을 위에 얹어서 바삭한
So
식감을
puffed rice is added for texture, crispy texture.
쌀 소르베를 올려줍니다.
And then goes the rice sorbet.
생채소나 허브류
And then different kind of herbs and vegetables and edible flowers are added. And sesame oil and soy sauce is the culmination of bibimbap, which could not go missing for our sweet barley bibimbap dessert menu.
저는 밍글스를 운영하면서 디저트를
So,
만드는 것도 되게 좋아하는데
I
지금은 제가
enjoy
모든 메뉴를
making
개발하지
desserts.
않지만
Not
제가 디저트 셰프로
at
많이
present, I'm
활동하면서
not developing all of
아이디어를
Mingle's
많이 주는
desserts,
편입니다.
but I make sure
그
that
이유는
my ideas are passed on as well.
디저트를 오랫동안 공부하셨던
Because
분들은
I know that if
본인이
you
맛있는
have been making
디저트를
dessert for a
만드는
long
데
time,
굉장히 뛰어나신데
you are
실제로
good at
식사를
making it
해보면서
yourself, but it's
내
hard to
요리
make
다음에
it
어떤
a natural
디저트가
flow
나와야
as part of the
되는지에
entire
대한 항상
course
고민이
or
있으시더라고요.
entire
저는
cuisine.
밍글스 음식을
So
처음부터
I
끝까지 손님이 떠날 때까지
Make
어떻게
sure that our
드실까에 대한
customers
고민을
have a
많이
good
하게 되다
experience
보니까
from entering a restaurant until leaving. So I want to make sure that they try bibimbap, but after a big menu, maybe carbohydrates would be too much. So that's why I thought that it could be offered in a dessert. And I also wanted to make sure that everyone has a taste of Korean Jang.
한국 음식이 너무나 많은 사랑을
So
받고 있어서
한식
저는
is being loved around the world. It's all the rage.
이
So over the last
변화를
10 years and
어떻게
5 years,
받아들이고 내가 앞으로
I am
어떻게
so
될
happy and
것인가라는
impressed
고민을 많이
to see
했습니다.
what 한식
앞으로도
became.
한국 음식과
And moving
관계를
forward,
많이 할 거고요.
I will also make sure that I give
밍글스
my
운영하면서
all
저한테
to Jang
한식을
in
알려준
한식.
진영의
And there are
어머니
two
같은
mentors
한식분인데
who have taught me
조희숙
한식,
셰프님과 정관 스님이 계시고
Mr.
또
정희숙님
제가
and
지난 어린
Lee Young
시절부터
as
저한테 한식을 먹여주셨고
they have made me 한식 from early days.
하늘에 계신 저희
And I
어머니와
also like to thank
장모님께
my mother and my mother-in-law once again for all the love you have shown for cooking for me. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
발표를 듣다 보니 아마
So, when you listen to his presentation, some of you may have some questions.
제가 여러분을 대표해서
So on behalf of everyone, I would like to ask you some questions.
먼저
So first, Hong Kong and Paris. You also had a restaurant in Hong Kong and Paris. And you also connect with different kind of chefs around the world. And you are a Jang chef to create Jang-based recipes to be spread around the world. So I would like to know what was the most popular or what kind of Jang was the most convenient to go with international recipes based on your experience. So Jang is something that Koreans take for granted. However, if you go overseas or in their perspective, they do not understand the character or it might be very difficult to use.
그들의 음식에서
So,
굉장히 일반적으로 먹게
it's
되는
not
것에 장을 조금 더하게
something
되면서
that they
본인들이
could
평소에 먹던
eat
음식과는
easily. However, if Jang is to be paired with everyday meals and cuisines, they were very happy that it brings different kind of character. And I think the desserts are received very well by internationals as well. So our Mingles menu is also served in Hong Kong as well. And in the case of shoe or chocolate could go with gochujang to elevate the chili profile. So this would transform the everyday menus and meals into something different. So I think these were received very well. And when you do cook, you talked about the versatile use of Jang. So there are traditionally made Jang, and for internationals, we just go to a supermarket that has been mass produced. So are there any differences between the two, the traditionally made and the market available Jang? And how should they be used differently? So there is a difference in price. We can start from that. So if you use master-made Jang, and if you are to make galbijim with it and use a lot of 간장, that could be pricey. So mass-produced Jang, commercial Jang, could be used in everyday meals, and it is a very important integral part to 한식. If you are to make galbijim, or if you are to use with bigger quantity, I think commercial Jang would be good. And as for the master-made Jang, it's as if you're using good quality vinegar and good quality wine in cooking. So it could use as a finishing touch. So high quality oil is used as a finishing touch. So I think the same could go with master-made Jang as well. Thank you very much for your response. So we are looking into different variations as mingles using Jang. Thank you very much once again for your presentation and for presenting all of the work that you have done up to this point.
So before starting the second session, we are going to have a short break. So we will resume the second session from 10:25. So see you again. Thank you.
네. 매년 변하지
So
않는
every
외식업계의
year,
난제 중 하나는
the unchanged F&B challenge is how to foster talents. So taking this opportunity, I believe we all agree upon the importance on fostering talents. However, there are not so many educational or training programs in place. So we would like to take this opportunity to look to other countries. And in the last event, we have learned from the Spanish Basque culinary system to introduce their program. And this year, we will be referring to the case of the US CIA, Culinary Institute of America case would be referred to. So in Korea, many of the chefs are alumni and graduates from CIA. For instance, we have Chef Im Jung-sik, who is operating 정식당 in the US and Korea, and 5 years ago, they also recruited a Korean professor. So, which means that I think 한식 would be able to be taught in more depth at CIA. So, the professor Yang Jong-jip of CIA will be talking about what CIA has to offer. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
인사하는 법을 그 사무장님께 배웠습니다.
So,
여러분 안녕하십니까?
nice to meet you, everyone.
Culinary Institute
My name
of
is
America
Yang
에서
Jong-jip, currently serving as a chef instructor at the Culinary Institute of America in New York, or CIA.
앞으로 발표하는 동안 본교를
So, moving forward, I'm just going to mention my school as CIA. So, before starting my presentation,
말씀을 좀 드리고자 합니다.
I would like to ask for your kind understanding.
53세이며
I am the 53, and I left Korea since 26. So I have lived in the United States more than my life in Korea. So both my English and Korean are not that much fluent. So I would like to ask for your kind understanding. Just take me as a foreigner who can speak Korean a little bit. So this is the picture of CIA campus.
여러분 이 사진을 보시고 어떠한
So what do you feel when you watch this video, when you see this photo?
이 사진 속에 보시는 모습과 같이
So as you can see,
캠퍼스는
the CIA campus is surrounded by majestic beauty, abundant firms,
신선한 계절별 재료와
where we can handle, explore, and learn about the finest seasonal ingredients and culinary offerings from around the world.
교육의 장인 것입니다. 단연코 세계
So,
요리
I can safe to say that CIA is the Harvard of culinary schools.
에도 불구하고 저토록 아름다운 대자연
Yet it is quietly situated in the small rural town of Hyde Park.
겸손하게
So it is very humbly located
이곳에서는
in a small town.
그 이상의
And also in this campus, there are so many activities going on beyond imagination.
현재
And also, there are so many Korean students and Korean alumni in CIA. And also, there are many leading chefs who are the graduates of CIA.
말할 수 있는 분은 극히 극소수이라 할 수 있겠습니다. 제게 주어진 시간은
So I only have 20 minutes for my presentation. So today I would like to talk about, based on 78 history of CIA, I'm going to share about my thoughts and my experience with all of you. So what I'm going to cover today is just the tip of the iceberg. So from now on, I'm going to speed up.
조금 더
So please listen to me carefully.
자, 화면 왼쪽 위에 보시는
So when you look at the screen, that is the CIA logo, which contains a lot of meaning. And this CIA has brought a new generation with the new president, Michael Becker.
다음 보시는
And this gentleman
사진 속 인물은 저희 학장이신
is
브랜든 월시
Chef Brandon Walsh, the Dean of the School of Culinary Arts, who always give me a lot of encouragement and support.
또한 부학장이신
And
셰프
also,
로렌스
there's
베네치
Mr.
님과의
Tony
동문회의를
Nogales, Associate Dean of CIA, who also give me a lot
이
of support.
자리에서 선 이유는
So
제가
the
오늘 이 자리에
reason that I'm
서
standing
있는
here in
제
front of
개인적인
you
생각이나
is not to share my
의견을
personal
나누기보다는
thoughts or opinion,
CIA를
but to
대표하는
speak to you
메신저로서
as a
여러분께
messenger
말씀드릴 수
representing
있음을
the CIA. So please keep this in mind. And that is the reason why I introduced these two gentlemen before starting my presentation.
이 컨퍼런스의 주제를 들었을 때
When I listened to the topic of today's conference, which is shaping the future of gastronomy, I thought about what is the definition and concept of the gastronomy. And only by doing so, we can clearly and clarify the meaning of gastronomy, and that will be the starting point to set the future. And as all of you are well aware, let me just repeat what gastronomy is.
게스트로노미라는 단어는
So gastronomy, the word gastronomy is formed by combining two different words. According to the dictionary meaning, it can be described as the science or art of appreciating and empathizing with the method of customs of cooking.
이렇게
So there are so many different types of concept and explanation about what gastronomy is. So to put it simply, only in a simple subject, it contains very deep layers and very deep meaning.
말씀드리고 싶었습니다.
So that was what I wanted to cover.
보시는 바와 같이
And as you can see here, Koreans
방문을 통해
can have a much deeper understanding based on the Chinese character. That's what I would like to stress here. So for that reason, some basic and original understanding is very much stressed in our school. And also, in order to provide more in-depth studies and experience to our students, that we are working very hard. And that is also all embedded in our curriculum and training courses. So under this topic of shaping the future of gastronomy, I would like to talk about what will be the right future of our gastronomy. And based on this, let me just talk about 4 different subjects. So the first subject is about what are the fundamental educational courses, contents, and policies in CIA. CIA, compared to other culinary schools, CIA also has a clear vision, mission, and core values. So CIA, unlike the conventional mindset, CIA is not just a culinary school. It is more than culinary school. It is working very hard to be armed with hospitality mind. And that one important course is hospitality. So under the hospitality, we cover food, cooking, culture, history, tradition, elegance, and beverages, and everything. So we are providing the intensive courses on hospitality as a whole. So CIA has always focused on something fundamentals and tradition. So all of the faculties and students in CIA and alumni together are armed with a strong tradition and strong understandings of fundamentals. And based on this, they could achieve a very high level and high quality performance. So more than 90% of students are living in dormitories, and they are trained throughout the semester to approach all classes and campus life with a professional mindset. In addition, they receive education and high-level character as a fundamental aspect. And along with this, the concept of French mindset, which is a mise en place, meaning to prepare in French, is fully understood and practiced. As a result, in their daily lives and professional lives, we always encourage our students to be well prepared. And we also stress the important attitude and value of their lives. The second subject is how CIA contributes to the United States and the
결론부터
world. To
말씀드리자면
put in a nutshell,
학교 입장에서는
from the
잘
school's
훈련된
perspective,
훈련되고
we
교육된
continue to
학생들을
develop
개척하는 것
well-trained and
자체가
educated students,
미국
and
사회뿐만
that
아니라
itself
전
contribute
세계
not only
곳곳의
to American
산업들과
society but
기업들의
also to the relevant
부가적이다라고
industries
당당히 말할 수
worldwide.
있겠습니다. 한 예를 들자면
For
한 해에 세
example,
번 열리는 커리어 페어라는
CIA
미국의
hosts
행사를 통해
three times of career
150여 개
fair
달하는
a
여러
year
산업체가
within the
그런
campus,
우수한 인재들을
and more than
전공해 줌으로써
150 companies
1000명에서 2000명에
visit
달하는
the school and
학생들과 기업을
interact
가르치기가
directly
모여
with our
직접
students. So
소통하고
during this
서로를
event,
대상으로
almost
다양한 네트워크
2,000
대회를
students
할
and
수
company
있는
representatives
기회장을
gather to
마련해주고 있습니다.
communicate directly and
그
introduce
외에도
themselves,
학교에서는
creating
여러
opportunities for diverse
워킹 프로그램
networking.
일하면서
And also,
자기의 수업을 볼 수 있는
CIA
기회를
offers various
제공하며
working
그런 기회를
programs and
통하여
scholarship
학생들이
opportunities, providing
현장의
students
인더스트리에 나갈 수
with
있는
many
그런
chances to
기반을
gain some
갖는다라고 볼 수
practical
있습니다.
industry experience.
세 번째,
The third
죄송합니다.
of, I'm
그래서
sorry,
여러 세계 산업에 CIA가 기여한
So
바가 있다
CIA
했으니
has
그러면
made a
한국
greater
산업
contribution
발전에
to
기여한
the
것이 무엇이냐
industries
물어봤을
around the
때
world. Then we need to think
결론부터
about what is
말씀드릴
its
거
contribution to
A의
the
빨간색
Korean
있습니다. 이것이
gastronomy
바로
industry.
무엇을
So what
뜻하냐면
is the red bar?
CIA의
That
재학
means
중인
the
미국
number
시민권을 가진
of
학생들을 제외하고
Korean students
인터내셔널
without
스튜던트 중에
the
한국
American
학생들이 있고
citizenship.
독보적인
So the
위치를
proportion
차지했습니다.
and presence of
독보적인
Korean
위치. 지난
presence are
15년간
number one.
100명에서
And for the
120명의
past
꾸준한 한국
15 years,
학생들이
there have
CIA
been
이렇게
more than
퍼센트 이어가
100 Korean
가서 그런
students in
식으로 한국
CIA.
학생들이 그렇게 많습니다, 매년.
So every year there are
이게
huge
무엇을
proportion
의미하는지
of
의미를
Korean
물어봤을
students.
때 반반은
And what is
굉장히 많은 것을 의미하고
its
있습니다.
meaning?
쉬운 얘기로 미국에 있는
To put it
학생들
simply,
3명은
excluding American students, CIA can be understood as Korean schools. So this can lead to different type of interpretation, but this is a fact. Korea is a very small country, but the K culture has been spread around the world. But actually, a lot of people do not know where Korea is located. Nevertheless, compared to its size and population, there are so many Koreans in our school. And for that reason, keeping this in your mind, we need to think about what will be the direction of evolution and innovation of CIA. CIA was established in 1946 by two ladies, Ms. Frances Rose and Ms. Catherine Angel. So it has 78 years of history. So its importance and significance has grown year after year. And so far, it has achieved a lot of evolution and growth and development thanks to a lot of efforts in its studies and curriculum development. And it has been engaged with a lot of relevant industries, including hospitality, healthcare, and food industries. So for that reason, we have made steady efforts in the hospitality industry. So it is true that we are at the core of hospitality service. So CIA is a great pride of the United States and also the roots of the U.S. society. In Korea, there is HANSIK. But in the United States, their food stems from CIA. And actually, this is the most important subject that I would like to cover. Then, what we need right now as an educator, what do we have to do? Also, in the past, I worked as a chef in the restaurant industry, but also I have always have a lot of interest in educating people and talents. So for the recent 5 years as working as a professor in CIA, I continue to thought about what would be the right way to develop the talents in the culinary trend and business. So let me just share some of the programs. CIA have a concentration programs. So at this moment, there are 4 different programs. So depending on the continents, but there's a Japanese curriculum. One is Europe, Asia, Africa, which is focusing on Black American. since there are a lot of Africans around the world. So African diaspora is one big pillar. But what is noteworthy here is that there is a Japanese department. However, from my perspective, I think that we have to add Korean there. What is missed here? I'm Korean.
빠진 것이 하나 있습니다. 그것은 바로
That is
한국
Korean
문화와
culture
한식입니다.
and also some concentrated courses on Hansik. So I always raise this as an issue from myself and also to the Korean food industry and all the relevant stakeholders in the Korean culinary industry. So actually, this is not just the issue of the government, education, or the industry. So any Koreans with the Korean citizenship should take this as a strong responsibility. So as a simple example, before I came to Korea, I did some simple survey about Americans' interest into Korean culture. And I did this survey to Korean students. I asked, if you have the Korean intensive courses, does it appeal to you? Out of 337 respondents, and actually students are very busy to respond to the survey, but out of 337 students, and actually the 337 students are huge proportion to participate in the survey. And actually the survey itself is quite unofficial. But anyway, when I asked the question, does a career concentration sound appealing? And 95%, more than 95% said yes. So they reflect their strong interest in this course. And the second question is, would you enroll if this course offered?
주목하겠느냐라고 했더니
Then also,
주목하겠다 한 학생들이 몇 명입니까?
248 students said yes.
넘는 학생들이 지금 당장 CII에
So if there is any Korean course, almost 75% said yes. And that curriculum would be done after 2-year basic courses. So the students who understands what the recipe is only by looking at the recipe and only by eating the dish. So
스펀지가 물을 빨아들듯이 모든 것을 흡수하고
this will help them to learn Korean food more. So this is very important education.
두 번째 기억하시고 세 번째 그럼 과연
Then I also asked another question. When it comes to South Korean culture, what interests you most?
물론 한식에
So what was interesting here is that
음식에 대해서 관심이 있다 한 것은 329명
329 students said that they have a lot of interest in food. It is true that K-pop, K-culture attracts a lot of attention, but compared to K-culture, they want to learn language. 175 students pay a lot of interest in learning Korean language and history as well.
또 많습니다. 역사를 알고 싶다.
And actually, I was very surprised to see these results. And what this mean?
CIA의 교육의
And I think
결과인 것입니다.
this is the result of CIA education. So when it comes to making a dish or food, they want to understand what their culture is and their history, tradition, and language. And they understand that that is the basic and starting point of cooking the food. Now, when you look into the second question again, and actually this type of intensive course is held once a year.
수업이 진행이 안 되죠. 학생이 너무 많아요.
But if the students are, actually, we always control the number of students enrolled, and 248 students are willing to apply for this course. And actually, this is the great results.
들어가기도 어느 정도 자격이 필요한데
Actually, it is highly qualified to enter CIA school, but more than 200 students are willing to learn Korean food. And that means that these students need to be qualified to learn Korean food. And this has a great significance as well.
그러한 것이 있고 오늘의 주제가
And as I mentioned, today's topic is shaping the future of gastronomy. And also, this HANSIK Conference is held by MAFRA. And this is the subject that I received first.
gastronomy 했지만 물론 중요하지만 저는
However,
Korean gastronomy.
I would like to think about shaping the future of 한식 gastronomy.
미국의 심장에
And as a part of that effort, at the center of American food, we want to plant Korean food into CIA. And this will not just giving the cooking curriculum, but this will elevate the partnership between two countries. And as far as the bilateral cooperation continue, then this will rather consolidate relationship between two countries.
저는 이러한 발표회나 이러한
So whenever I have any chance to make a presentation and also participate in this workshop, I always feel grateful for your invitation.
지대였던 돌아가서
So whatever the case, when I go back to the United States,
그런 식으로 한식 문화에
I will continue to promote Korean culture and Korean food and cuisines.
적인 그런 것을
And also, I am more than willing to establish some kind of official association that help to promote 한식 culture.
제 생각은 약간 다릅니다.
And
한식에 관해서
related to 한식, its tradition, elegance, and history need to be established first. And once that is established and promoted, 한식 can be naturally renowned. So I also made this presentation from the educator's perspective.
마지막으로 제가
And before ending my presentation,
우리 한국에 오는 동안 비행기
our,
제가 제작한
during my flight, I made this small short video.
보시기 전에
So before watching this video,
설명을 좀 드리겠습니다.
let me just briefly explain what this is.
이 장면을 보니 2분짜리입니다.
This is only 2-minute video.
학생들이 뭔가를 할 겁니다.
Our students are going to do something for you. So please watch this video carefully. And this is not just for fun.
저들이 하는 그곳
This reflects
개개인에게 한다라고 생각을 해주고
some kind of meaning to you. And actually, this message is delivered each one of you.
하고 제가 제작했을 때 그런 마음을 했기 때문에
And actually, we produced this video from deep of our hearts. So actually, this showcase is not done to the mass. This is just delivered to you individually.
한국의 애국가를
And students are writing down the national anthem. And actually, this is not just writing down because they don't know the Korean character, so they just draw the Korean character. But anyway, please open your hearts and open your mind to accept their hearts
그리고 마지막에
and their interest to Korea.
답변하는 식으로 짤막하게 편지가 쓰여 있습니다.
And also, there's a short letter that I wrote down to the students.
저와 학생과의 관계가
And actually, this reflects some strong bond and relationship between me and my students. So, let's watch the video.
Perfect, guys. Looks great.
You are the someone I've been trying to meet.
All right.
I got your number, won't you pick up the phone? Don't leave me hanging on the dial tone. Think back to the night that we met. Jumping in the pool, talk to you, dripping wet. Nervous when I speak, so I trip on my tongue. Never thinking you will be my number one. Nervous when I speak, so I trip on my tongue. Never thinking you will be my number one. Never hair and the sand in my shoes.
좀 어둡네요. 여러분, 이것은 보이기 위한 것이
So
아니라
actually, this
daily
video
life가
is
그렇습니다.
not just showcasing to you, but this is our daily lives.
학생들과 함께 저렇게
어떻게 보면 영상에서도 한국 문화, 한국 음식,
So
정말
also
한국
in the
음식을 좀
video, we
넘어서서
could feel and sense the great
문화에까지
interest and
얼마나
great
이제
passion
공감을
toward the
이루어내는지
Korean
교수님
culture and
영상으로
Korean
저희가 잘 들을 수
food.
있었던 것 같습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much.
이벤트를 꼭 해야 되겠습니다.
And actually, I need to make this comment before ending my
저들은
presentation.
우리 대한 사람들이
Actually, these students
무엇을
seem to clearly understand what Koreans hope for, long for, and sing about.
보여드리겠습니다. 그래서 이러한 것은 세계 최초의 역사적인 일로 기이 남을 것입니다.
I think this can be regarded as an historic event.
저들의 마음을 열어서
So by opening their hearts and minds,
우리의 것에 귀 기울여 주는 한
so as far as we listen to them and also they listen to us,
멋에 대하여
then
보존하고 교육하고 알리는
we
역할에
will
열심히
continue to
할 것입니다.
promote the
마지막으로
Korean
이 자리를
culture
빌어
and history
저를
to
이
our
단상에
students.
설 수 있도록 지지해
And also,
주신
I would
모든
like to give my
관계자분들,
deep thanks to
물론 이 자리에 참석하지
all the
못하셨으나
hosts and
제가
all of my
만나 뵙고
colleagues
저의 메시지에 귀
and
기울여
organizations
주시고
for
성원과
giving me
응원을
these
아끼지
precious
않으신 모든
opportunities.
분들께, 제 본교의 모든 동료 여러분께 또한 뉴욕 CIA를 대표로
And on behalf
진심 어린
of
감사의
CIA,
말씀을
I would
전하는
like to
바입니다.
extend
여러분과
my
만남은
deepest
제게
appreciation to
크나큰
all of you.
영광이었습니다. 감사합니다.
It was a great honor to be here. Thank you.
네, 이제 저희가 미국에 있는 학교 얘기를 좀
So we
들어봤고요.
listened to the story of the
교육기관인
American Culinary School or CIA. Then, other than the schools, what we need to do to develop the future chefs. The situation might vary depending on the country, but there are some kind of consensus about the challenges and opportunities. So now we are going to have some panel discussion. We have Ms. Park Jung-hyun from Atomics, and also we have Mr. Jorge Vallejo from Mexico, Mr. Jimmy Lim from Taiwan, and Mr. Sang-eun from Belgium, and also Ms. Park from the United States. So we can talk about what's going on and what can be applied to Korea. And during this session, we will have Ms. Alia Park from the United States, who are going to serve as a moderator. And what kind of discussion will be made? Let's watch and listen. Please give them a round of applause.
안녕하세요. 모더레이터를 맡게 된
So hello everyone. This is Park Jung-eun or Alia Park, moderator of today's session.
양 교수님의 프레젠테이션이 조금 더 마음에 와 닿는
So
건
the reason that I got really impressed with the comments from Professor Yang is that since our restaurants are in the United States, I can deeply resonate with his words. Even though we are running the restaurants in the United States, whenever we receive the question, what is the most important thing and how we can run the Korean restaurant in the United States, financial support and our vision are important. But without our teams who can understand our vision, we cannot run the business at all. So that said, talent development is very critical to this business. So together with our colleagues and chefs, I'm very honored to have been engaged in this discussion. And let me ask my first question. So the first question will be delivered to Mr. Park in Atomics.
한국에서의 한식뿐만
So not only 한식 in Korea, what is the role of 한식 in the United States? And I think that 한식 in the United States has played a lot of role. And when you look into the Michelin list in the New York restaurants, there are a lot of Korean restaurants included. So while running the restaurants in the United States, what is your plan to run the business and also develop the talents? What is highly required in this manner? It's been 12 years since we went to the United States, and it's been 8 years since we opened Atoboy, and 6 years, more than 6 years in Atomix. Compared to the time that we first opened the restaurants, the entire atmosphere and environment have changed a lot. And also it is true that the understanding of 한식 has been elevated. However, we still have a long way to go. It is true that there are rising interests and popularity in 한식, but in order to make it sustained, we need to make it as a daily food in the United States. So for those who are living in the United States, eating Japanese food is just a part of their lives. They can easily eat sushi, soba, or ramen. That is not special at all. They don't need to. That is not a special occasion at all. So, but still, 한식 has been something and targeted for the people who have some special interest in Korean culture. However, in order to make these Korean food or 한식 as a daily food, we need to do some kind of education. As Mr. Kang from Mingles wrote down some very special book about Jang. And I also released some book about Korean food. Of course, there have been a lot of cookbooks about Korean food, but there have been not that many books or not that many video clips that introduce about Korean food culture or history. If we have more contents regarding that matter, then that will be greatly helpful to introduce what Korean food is. And I had a chance to went to Bon and Bread yesterday, and I watched what butchering is, and also I asked them, is there any YouTube clip about this butchering? And when I received a question, I couldn't answer. So some kind of butchering process, I'm wondering whether that type of video clip exists or not. If there are more and more sources or contents regarding that matter, there might be more activities that we can do. And this will be another opportunities to unfold a greater interest to 한식. So you said that there should be more tools and more media clips that can promote the 한식. And next question is to Jimmy.
Congratulations for your 3 stars.
Thank you.
This achievement is not only about you, Chef Jimmy, and your restaurant, but it's very important for the young chef in Taiwan. And I'm curious about there's a many institution culinary program in Taiwan like Le Cordon Bleu, but I'm curious about the culinary program in Taiwan in general and what kinds of support and provide to develop in Taiwanese culinary the tradition.
Okay. In Taiwan, usually they offer the culinary class like you're having the Western or Asian cooking. So it doesn't necessarily like focus on only Taiwanese cuisine. So I think this happens in Singapore as well. I went to culinary school in Singapore. We doesn't have a specific course for like Singaporean cooking. It's like Asian cooking. So you do all kinds of Asian cooking you can think of. Yeah. So these 2 years I've been teaching in one of the local Taichung Culinary University. So I guess they are now pushing the culinary like Taiwanese cuisine. They want to push it more, but they doesn't offer a specific course. So I feel that they are employing like chefs, maybe famous chefs or other instructors to come in and teach them, to share with them. So from here, like in my restaurant, when I get new interviewees, the cooks, I will ask them like, why do you choose us? Why do you come to JL Studio? What makes me touching is that they wanted to learn like how I shared my cuisine. They want to apply this to their own cuisine in future when they have their own restaurant. So I feel that this is very touching to me, that I can be one of, a role model for them to push in future. Yep.
But like Atomics and Jail Studio, without tradition, it's really hard to make a new cuisine. And do you think that the tradition, tradition education is essential for the new generation?
To me, traditional is really important. It's because without the base, you can't build high-level buildings. So understanding of tradition and what I call the bridge to the modern language, the language to speak to the modern palate or the modern people now, that's very important. You need to know both worlds, the old and the new. Yep.
지미 셰프님이 말씀하신 것처럼
As have been mentioned by Jimmy, not only for Hansik, but other country cuisines are also building upon the tradition, and in order to create a good legacy to pass on, traditional education is important. Thank you very much for your comments.
On to the next question to Chef Sang-eun. Welcome to Korea, Chef. So you are not only run the successful restaurant for your many years, but you also connect the chef and restaurateur and sommelier through the association, the La Grande Table du Monde, where you serve as a formal the vice president. And this is very important to introduce a new talent and restaurateur in the restaurant. And Atomics was honored to be part of that group from the last year. And do you think what does mean to our industry and world, and why this role is really important for the next generation?
I'm a Belgian chef, Korean-born, citizen of the world, and I run a restaurant for 27 years in Belgium, and we're focused on sustainability, all the stuff. And I train many chefs who are now owner of their own restaurant, and they are more than a successful restaurateur. They are a great human being, and I think it's a state of mind. It's kind of mindset for me. It's really important to give them, and we have a lot of responsibility as a chef to form really a great human. And it's not only this, not only restaurateur, but as an association, Les Grandes Tables du Monde. I had the chance to be a former vice president, and we don't want to judge the quality of food. We have a Michelin guide or different lists to do it. And the way to choose members and to introduce them, this group of restaurateurs is 190 members everywhere in the world, and the focus is excellence. Excellence is the way to work, excellence is the way to be. And I think now we don't choose the members the same way that 70 years ago. First it was 5 Parisian restaurateurs who formed this association. They wanted to really need to speak about the job, but to have fun too. It's important when you give a lot of energy to your members, to your staff, to be filled by different energy. And that's why it's important to have this kind of association. And the way you choose members now, I think as a leading association, because now we're taking care of each challenges for the future, we have to choose members depending of the influence on their community. And having had a mix, and we imagine that they have a kind of responsibility about what they give to the next generation. And today we hope it inspired a lot of Korean chefs of the new generation to be part of this group, because they are really proud of the knowledge, the heritage, and the job, simply.
이 association에서 잠깐 말씀을 드리면
So if I'm to elaborate on this association, we joined the association last year for the first time. So as have been mentioned, I think it's all about influence or impact. It's not only about cooking and running a restaurant alone. So through this group, we would be able to speak for the cuisine of each country and also speak for the culture, respectively. So it has influence and impact. So we were very honored to be part of this network and association, and it was as if we were Korean delegates in this association. So I'm glad to be part of this. So by introducing this group, and I hope that the next generation would know that Korean restaurants are also part of this network to elevate the status of Hansik on the global stage.
Our dear friend Chef Jorge, and welcome to Korea. So in the past decade, the growth of tourism culinary in the Mexico was extraordinary. I mean, I've been to the Mexico 10 years ago, and the last year too. It has been changed so much. And Quito has been 10 years. Congratulations. And how do you view the Quintonil's role in the Mexico City? Also, beyond the Mexico City, I understand you, the director many culinary program, other reason in Mexico City too. And can you share your insight on how food and restaurants contribute to the local community and the talent development?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. As you're saying, one of the most important things or aspects of being a chef is that we share, of course, our passion and our craft, but also we share our culture and our flavors through the things we do in our restaurant. It's like a voice from many, many people that we share with international people, in my case. And not only in terms of the food we do, but also with the ingredients, with the cultural aspect of how we see food through the different nationalities, because it's different the way we eat in Korea or in Japan or in Mexico, but I think there is a link that makes a very more way of understanding the way of living of a country by the way we eat. So so far I've seen here in my past few days here in Korea all this love and like deeply rooted connection with the nature, with the with the way of living, with the ingredients and with the flavor, how Korean people live through the food. In the way we see it in Quintonil, as you're saying, we've been open for many, many years, and I've been very lucky to see the development of the gastronomy industry of the past decade in my city. And I see that it's a very nice way to introduce to the international customers, as I just said, our culture, our heritage, but also as Chef Jimmy was saying, how we can visualize the future of gastronomy, because it's our job, part of our mission, to show some different solutions in terms of sustainability, in terms of networking with the community that has less possibilities to do things. Through our craft, we can take them to the main stage, and with the producers, with the foragers, with the crafts that help us to do beautiful dishes or plates. I mean, I think it's a very good scenario for a country to have high-level restaurants all over the world. And of course, I give advisory to a group of hotels, and our main goal nowadays in the food and beverage program, in the restaurants as well, in the hotels, I mean, it's to share knowledge, to share histories with our guests. I think the international guests, our community, are more willing not just to enjoy, like back in the days, with a very, very surface the culture. Now the international customers wants to go more deep, wants to learn about how we live, and this is such an opportunity to us to give them the best of us through all the connections that we can do in the gastronomy.
퀸토닐 레스토랑이 지금 오픈한 지
So
10년이
Culinary
넘었고,
restaurant has been open
오픈한
for
지
more than
지금
10
6년이
years,
좀
and
넘었는데
Antonio was
저희가
open for more than
아트미스를
6
오픈을
years.
처음 했을 때
So when Antonio
퀸토닐
was
레스토랑을
opened,
방문을
we
했었어요.
had a
오픈
chance
전에.
to
근데
visit
거기서 정말
Quintonio.
충격적인
So
경험을
we had a
받았거든요.
very
저희가
shocking
멕시코라고 생각을
experience.
하면
So when it comes to
타코나
Mexico, we often
브리토가
think
되는
about
음식을 생각을 할수
burritos or
있었는데
taco.
퀸토닐이
However,
멕시코를
when we
표현하는
visited
방법이
Quintonio,
저희한테
the way to
앞으로
express
우리가
Mexico
해야
was
될
totally
역할을
different.
조금
And I
보여주게
think that
하는
shows
그런
what is the
경험이었어요.
roles and what will be
그래서
our
그런
future
경험들을
direction.
토대로
So
저희가
based on that
아트미스를 오픈을 할수
experience,
있었고
we could open
한식을
Atomics,
전통적인
and we could
문화도
also think
중요하지만
about
조금
how
더 쉽게
to
멋있게 접근할 수
infuse
있는 방법이
한식 with
무엇일까를
some
경험할 수 있는
international gastronomy.
것이었거든요. 작년에 저희가
So last year,
한국 여행을 했었는데
we
한국을
look
여행을
around
하면서
Korea
많은
together
부분을
with
보여드리고
Jorge chef,
그리고 그중에
and we
이제
also visit
아토믹스에서
many
하는
parts
저희가
in
한국
Korea.
작가님들의
And
그릇만 쓰고 있어요.
And actually,
그래서
in Atomics,
그런 한국
we are only
작가님들의
using the
그릇도
dish
보여드렸는데
and
한국
porcelain made
방문을
by
통해서
Korean
지금
artists.
멕시코
However,
퀸토닐 레스토랑에서는 한국
in
작가님들의
Quintonio,
그릇도 같이
they are
서비스를 하고
also
계세요.
Quintonio
이런
also used the
저희의
dish
음식과
made by
문화에 대한
Korean artists.
경험이
So
그런 전달이
our
저희가
experience
앞으로
in
한국뿐만
Korea
아니라
and Korean
미국뿐만
restaurants
아니라
and Korean
세계적으로 우리의 작가들과
porcelain
예술가를 알릴 수
industry,
있는 소통의
that will be a
기회라고
great
생각을
channel
합니다.
to promote our artists
한
and
가지
not just
더
our Korean
마지막으로
food.
여쭤보고
And
싶은데
I have the last question.
죄송해요, JP 셰프님 한 가지 더 여쭤볼게요.
To Mr. Park
지금
again.
한국에서 저희는 교육을
In
받고
Korea,
이곳에서
we
운영을
are
하고
educated,
있습니다.
but we are running the
지금
business in the
미국에서
United
한식을
States.
전하는 일을 하면서
And
저희가 얻은
currently,
경험으로서
based on our
한국에 계신 다음
experience in the
세대들이
United
꼭
States,
얻었으면 하는 교육적인
what are
경험이
the
있다면
educational
무엇이라고
experience for the
생각하실까요?
next generation?
한국에 계신 분들이 필요하신
And
거.
anything that is required for Korean chef working in Korea.
대학교를 다닐 때 처음 이제 유럽으로
Actually, I was quite fortunate to go to Europe as an exchange student when I was in college. So I had an opportunity to experience some different dishes, different foods, and different restaurants. So my dish in my restaurants do not have any boundaries right now. Of course, there are so many different types of Korean food. However, when you think about the future of 한식, I believe that it's going to be more diverse than nowadays. Tteokbokki, and actually the tteokbokki of the grandma's generation will be totally different from the tteokbokki of nowadays. And tteokbokki in 100 years will be totally different. Likewise, 한식 has continued to evolve. So actually our attitude toward our lives will be very important, and also you should be exposed to all the different types of opportunities with different types of programs concerned. And one thing that I would like to stress again is that what we have concerned and what we have considered so far is that how to run the restaurant in overseas based from Korea. But when I'm living in Korea, there are so many Thai restaurants and so many Japanese restaurants, but most of them are run by Americans. And those who really like Thai food or Japanese food, they just started to learn the Thai food and Japanese cuisine, and they started to run this restaurant. So likewise, moving forward, since they have a lot of interest in the Korean food and Korean culture, we can think about a lot of opportunities to learn Korean cuisine. And once they eat those Korean fish, they can also develop their own recipe and own dish. So there will be more and more Koreans running Korean restaurants and more Americans running Korean restaurants in the United States. As mentioned by Professor Jang in CIA, if there are some Korean food curriculum, that would be a great method. And also emerging chefs can be invited to have more and more experience of Korean food and Korean restaurants. So that if that kind of opportunities are growing, growing, then that will be greatly helpful to develop Korean food in the world.
네, 지금 말씀해 주신 거에 잠깐
Thank you very much. To add on, I also have a question to the two experts from Atomic. So what we're talking about today is about the legacy for future generations. So we are mostly talking about established cases, but since we are already in the industry, I think what we leave as a legacy would have great impact on the next generation. So in New York, it's not like only Koreans should cook Korean food or 한식. I think the possibility should be open to the general public of the USA. And I think it was an Australian chef. So you used to work at a one-star restaurant in Korea and went to Atomics. And I think after 1 year in Atomics in Sant'Ellegrino, I think that chef won an award. So my question goes to the two from Atomics. So what kind of chefs do you think? I think the ultimate goal for a chef would be to be an owner chef of their own restaurant. So how did you lead that chef to be successful? So how did you support them? Or what kind of conversations happened is my question.
So actually, I think this is more focused on talent development, not just about 한식. So as Mr. Kang, Chef Kang is well aware, while we grow our business, actually, we didn't think that only developing our Atomics restaurants is not a sustainable way. We need some kind of venue and environment that can unfold our dream, and also develop the right talents are very important. And actually, our restaurant groups are widely known as Korean cuisine groups. But some chefs from Spain, Australia, or the UK, what they want to learn from us is that after 2 to 3 years of experience, they cannot think about the other career step. Since I'm not Korean, I have to stop this. If that's the case, then I think our growth will have the limitations. So, even though they have the great talents, and in order to develop the right talent, our experience need to be shared together, and we should become the right leader to support their career as well. So, Daniel Bang, who used to work in other restaurants, came to us, joined us together, and also based on his own potential, he is currently working as a partner to our restaurants. And the new restaurant was opened last week, and he is the head chef of that restaurant. So with all the staff and other chefs, instead of hierarchical relationship, in order to sustain relationship, we need to regard them as our partners. And we also need to think about what will be their career and what will be their future. So supporting each other in this direction and in this journey is very important.
Thank you very much. And in association, my second question goes to Jimmy.
So I know for a fact that you just shared that you were trained in Singapore, but that you actually run your 3 Michelin-star restaurant in Taiwan. And then so for now, I think sharing your experience could actually give a lot of Korean chefs who are thinking about going overseas, especially in Asia, but they would think that it might be too difficult or maybe too difficult and then not easy to understand the Asian food overall. Like you said, sometimes the Asian culture can be very similar and yet very different. So if you could share some tips or any insights on any Korean chefs who's thinking about maybe opening a restaurant in Asia, what are the insights would you give them?
To be true, it's difficult at first. Okay, but for myself, doing Singaporean cuisine in Taiwan, it takes a different perspective. It's not like chef here is doing Mexico, and you can have everything in your hometown. From the porcelain artists to the ingredients producers. But what I'm trying to do is sharing Singaporean cuisine from a different point of view, using the local ingredients. Because my point of view is like sharing your own cuisine. Always people talk about authenticity. Is it authentic? But if we keep it at the original point of origin point, like in Singapore, I can't let it spread. If I can go to any country and I can still do my Singaporean cuisine using the local ingredients, I feel that that's a part, that's like spreading the seeds further and easier. That's my point of view, yeah. So I encourage any Korean young chefs out there, if you have the heart to share Korean cuisine, anywhere, go anywhere to start your dream. It doesn't, you no need to choose any points, any place to do it. Don't think, take the first step first, yeah.
The reason why I asked, your answer is exactly what I wanted, because now New York has been established as a destination for the Korean chefs. They immediately think about the cities where Korean food is already very well known. But I think, like you said, it's very important to actually go explore the new city and then put the flag as a first person to claim the territory.
Yeah, even, I don't know, like in Africa, why not?
Okay, sounds good. 혹시 두 분이 다른 거 더 질문하고 싶으신 거 있으실까요?
Any other questions or comments?
다른 건 없으실까요? 알겠습니다.
No?
저희가 전체적으로 한식을 어떻게
So,
알릴 수
we
있는지를
talked
좀
about
고민을
how
하기도
to
하면서
promote
사실
한식, but
이번
at the
주제는
same time,
인재 양성을
the
어떻게
subject
하면
of the
좋을
session
것인가를
was
같이
how
얘기를
to
하다
develop
보니까
future
각
talents.
나라의
So,
셰프님들께
the chef
강사가
of
어떻게
each
하고
country
있는지
shared
그런
their own
인사이트를 얻을 수 있는
experience
질문들을 좀
and
던져보게
insights.
됐습니다. 처음에 이제 박정현 셰프가
So,
말씀하신 것처럼
as
어떻게
Mr.
보면 지금
Park
한식은
mentioned,
너무 특별해요.
한식 is too much
어떤
special.
좋은 날, 조금
So,
한식에 관심
people
있는
go to
사람들이
한식
어떻게 보면
restaurant
거기
for
간다는 걸
special
조금 더 특별하게
occasion.
인지하고 있는데 정말 그냥
But
가볍게 우리가
we
일상식처럼
need to make it
한식을
as a
먹을 수
daily
있는
food.
요리라면
If
우리가
that's the
생각하는
case,
그 한식을 더 널리
한식
멀리까지
can become more
알린다라는 거
widespread,
그리고 우리가
and that will
생각하지 못한
become
도시에도
a true
그냥
part of
단순히
everyday lives of
솥밥이라든지
people around the
떡볶이라든지 그
world,
분식을
or
넘어서서
국밥,
그
떡볶이,
현지화가
or
더
just
되어가는
분식.
한식의 모습도
All
보이지
of those
않을까
different types of Korean
생각합니다.
food can be more and more localized.
네. 무대에서 지금까지 발표와
So I would like to thank all the 5 panelists and the moderator for your insight. You may please stand by. Please stand by. Please be seated. Please stand by. Thank you. So with this, we will conclude 2024 HANSIK Conference. I would like to thank you for your kind attention and participation.